Hey guys, I'm Doff, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. We're here today with the Greenskins, still awaiting the upcoming DLC, but in the meantime I've got a very fun replay from our good friend SLADE'S here. So you may be wondering what this disgusting blob is here. Well, there's a point. You can see this Night Goblin Shaman currently casting Night Shroud. So he is going to give this entire pocket stock. And yeah, so they'll be able to advance up across the field against the Dwarves without taking that artillery fire, which is very important. Obviously, the Dwarves do have some cannons here. They've got, let's see, one cannon and the Goblobber. Plenty of miners with blasting charges and warriors spread around, quarrelers as well. Just a nice wide boy Dawi build with Grombrindle at the helm. Got a distraction goblin over here. More goblins in the backline. Rusty Airs and 8-peak loonies come in for a nice sneaky rear deployment. And then, yeah, Grimgor's Death Blob consists of 3 Black Orcs, including the Crimson Killers. You got 3 Trolls as well, 3 Squig Herds. I believe there's some Squig Hoppers somewhere around here as well, but yeah. Yeah. And of course the Night Goblin Shaman, giving them all stock and unspottable. If we have a look here, you can see that Night Shroud effect is allowing them to advance without being seen here. So, meanwhile though, these guys are definitely being seen. They're going to start to take some blasting charges in the flanks. A little bit unfortunate there, but at the same time, these miners are getting torn up pretty bad by the Rusty Airs there. Goblobber's going to return fire a little bit, which is obviously what it needs to be doing. The leadership damage will be very effective against the low-tier goblins, of course, even a regiment of renown like the Rusty Airs. But the Death Ball's coming downhill, still unseen, still unspotted. They're just about to get into range here. Start the melee engagement, but yeah, you can see how close they get, even still unspotted. Imagine you're the dwarf player in this situation, just all of a sudden, oh, there's the army. There's, you know, a mass of trolls and squigs and black orcs coming for a second wave here, but yeah, these miners are just going to get absolutely dumped on by all this heavy AP damage, just way more than they can handle. You've even got some iron breakers over here. They're not taking quite as much damage, but still taking a pretty decent pounding. And blasting charges do fire damage. They'll do okay against the trolls, but nothing amazing. Miners getting collapsed over here, and now the Wah's popping off. So now that these units have broken the first, they can kind of countercharge through and get on the second. GRIMGOR is dueling Grombrindle here. They are just chopping each other to bits. The Crimson Killers are going to come support here, and Grombrindle's going to go ahead and just run away because, yeah, the Crimson Killers would definitely swing that fight very decisively. But meanwhile, over on the far flank here, you can see Grombrindle has no fear, has been popped, so all these units are going to be unbreakable. Squig Hoppers tried to get in the back line here. We're not able to actually get on top of the Goblobber. We're secured by Dwarf Warriors here, so not all bad for the Dwarves so far, but this is definitely not great here. These Quarrelers going to take a charge from these Squigs, merrily rolling through and gobbling them up. They do really nice AP for the cost. They're honestly quite cheap. And yeah, they're going to do some really good damage, especially in disrupting those ranged units. See the loonies unleashed their load there. Unfortunately, did not get too many good hits. Probably got some good hits going through this blob here, but yeah, GRIMGOR standing firm. The Norgrimling's Ironbreakers still trying to fight through here. The Trolls will have a hard time cutting through them just because they are extremely high melee defense, but at this point the Dwarves are starting to sort of get a little low on numbers here. We've got Dwarf Warriors trying to rally. They are pushing through, but you can see the Death Blob almost still completely healthy. I mean, except for the Squigs, of course. They are pretty squishy. But the Trolls and the Black Orcs are just cutting through this Dwarf main line here. And the disruption of the Squigs on the ranged units did mean that, like, the Quarrelers weren't able to focus fire on the Trolls, which would have been one way to try and get through this. I mean, obviously, 3 Black Orcs is still going to be a lot to deal with, especially the Crimson Killers. They are a nasty, nasty unit. You can see them charging over here, dual-wielding axes out. And they are just going to push out these Dawi. Sad day for the Dwarves. Many grudges will be written. And yeah, it's not quite over yet, but we're getting close. GRIMGOR are going to get in here. We'll soak up some more cinematics of these Black Orcs duking it out with the Norgrimling's Ironbreakers, the most elite of the Dawi infantry with their 86 melee defense and 90 unit models. They're still taking very little damage. Unfortunately, they just can't dish much damage back. 110 armor on the Black Orcs. Only 36 melee attack for the Ironbreakers, and they have pretty low weapon strength as well. So yeah, they're honestly not going to be able to do much in return to the Black Orcs, but they will be able to grind at least for some time. GRIMGOR is also soaked in there, so yeah, we'll see Rusty Airs pouring in fire from the back. Balance power is tipping quite a bit as these trolls are just munching through dwarf warriors. Crimson Killers wrecking through more dwarf warriors. A lot of these units in the back area getting cleaned up and even shattered in some cases. So, yeah, not looking great for the dwarves. They're still fighting though. They're resilient people, and these black orcs here are actually going to get broken, just worn down. Grombrindle's in here whacking them in the back, but GRIMGOR says, "Hey, quick killing my boys." He's going to get in here, get a good hit on Grombrindle. Grombrindle's very low now, only 300 HP left, and he's about to rout, so can GRIMGOR finish it off? Oop, nope, didn't quite get Grombrindle on that one. Looks like he got some of his buddies, but yeah, we'll see. Grombrindle's probably just going to book it at this point. Yeah, he's actually broken once again. Only 187 hit points there, so with the loss of the White Dwarf, the rest of the Dwarves really not too happy about the situation. We're going to run into major leadership issues just across the board, and it looks like the Dwarf player actually admitted defeat. So, very fun battle, well played to Slade. And actually, Professor Pipes was the Dwarf player. Wow, yeah, well played to Professor Pipes as well. Definitely a tough situation to get thrown into with that massive, death ball ambush just appearing on your doorstep. But credit to him, he did pretty well. The cannon was able to get some good work in. Definitely dealt with the squigs okay. Unfortunately, they were able to get on some of his ranged units, but I think some Slayers would have gone a long way. Like, I probably would have cut this second Ironbreaker. Yeah, these 2 extra Ironbreakers I think you could cut for Slayers, and you'd get a lot more value because you need some kind of anti-large melee DPS. Trolls don't have a lot of armor. Slayers will cut through them very efficiently, and so if you can cut through these big monsters, cut through the squigs easily, the squig hoppers, isolate the black orcs, then you can kind of wear them down with the ranged fire, the artillery, and just the Ironbreakers and everything. So yeah, as far as Slade goes on his side, I mean, obviously Black Orcs racking up quite a few kills there. 76 on some trolls, not too bad as well. You don't often see trolls used to this good effect, but they were used very well here. 54, 76, 21, all completely healthy just about. Yeah, Black Orcs, 46, 2 chevrons there. 75 on the Crimson Killers. They were definitely mopping it up. 54, a couple chevrons for the Squig Hoppers. I believe they started out with 1, I want to say, and maybe managed to pick up a second through the course of the battle. But yeah, Squig Herds, 74 and 58. That's very good value for the cost. Squig Herds in general are just an awesome unit in that matchup. Kind of an underrated unit overall, but I really like that, that build from Slade there. It was, if you're going to be facing a powerful artillery faction, like, I could see that honestly working pretty well against, like, Vampire Coast or even Empire. If you're really worried about just getting blasted as you're trying to advance, then you just deploy everyone in a blob, cast that, and everyone's hidden, and you can advance across the field without getting shot at. I really like that synergy there. So the Night Shroud, not something you see too often. Skarsnik does have his effect as well. So if you didn't want to take GRIMGOR specifically, you could take Skarsnik. 24% speed, stock, and unspottable. I want to say that's exactly the same effect as Night Shroud. Oh no, Night Shroud actually does not give a speed effect. So Skarsnik's is actually a little bit better in that way, I guess. We can see here, just in terms of, yeah, 40-meter effect, lasts for 30 seconds. Night Shroud lasts for longer. It's 41 seconds. 40-meter radius. And let's see what happens if you overcast it. It lasts for even longer. It lasts for a full 82 seconds, which is a long, long time. So Skarsniks will let you advance a little bit quicker. Maybe if it's one of the smaller maps like Marbad's Tomb or Glacial Lake, then maybe you would take Skarsnik. Alternately, you could just use the Night Goblin Shamans, take, GRIMGOR, especially against, like, Vampire Coast. We'll use them as an example. He's immune to psychology, so he's not going to be scared by the undead. That's very useful in that matchup. You can kind of trim him down as well, just to make him nice and cheap. And then for the Goblin, I would take just Night Shroud, and then I might take Vindictive Glare and Sneaky Stabbing as well, just for good measure. Probably cut the Mushroom, just make him nice and cheap. And then, yeah, just doing something similar to that, maybe with more infantry this time, just deployed in a big death blob. But yes, just the hiding from artillery and long-ranged damage is going to be very important, certainly. So hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this one. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. We're going to keep it going with more Total War Warhammer 2 content. Every day. I've got quite a bit planned for the future, so stay tuned for lots of fun soon, and we'll see you next time.